I know I'm just about out of time, but this isn't really a question, but I like this one too. This was sent in from Patricia. So hello, Patricia. I know who you are. You told me from where you live, and I remember you well. Adya, dearest teacher, Patricia says, there is still a self here. I don't get it. Now, isn't that an hysterically funny statement? Maybe this is almost like an inside joke with Patricia and me, because I know Patricia and I know where she's coming from. Yeah. There's always going to be the appearance of a self. Always. There may not be an actual, like, self as in some sort of entity, you know. But look, every the most realized beings in the world, they've all had real personalities. I mean, good Lord, Nisargadatta had one hell of a personality. Ramana had a personality. Jesus had a personality. Buddha had a personality. I'm looking at a statue of that which the Virgin Mary represents. That's a kind of personality, you know. I'm thinking of the hugging saint. I forget her name for some reason. I don't know why it escapes me, but yeah, I'm sure most of you know who I'm talking about alive now. That's a real personality, and they're all gloriously different as human manifestations of the universal transcendent truth, right? And so there's always that element. There's always that right down to sort of, you know, there's the personality. I remember someone asking Nisargadatta, you know, well, does the old personality ever, you know, arise in you? And he just like very casually just said, well, of course the old personality arises in me, but I never really take it seriously, you know, and if it's telling me nonsense, I just sort of dismiss it. That's sort of typical Nisargadatta sort of way of speaking. But it was his way of saying, like, come on, let's not do this ridiculous sort of overly spiritualized sort of idealism here where you think you're going to kind of become so transcendent, so gloriously enlightened that there's going to be no element of what we might call something personal. Or there's not going to no longer be a personality. From what I've seen, most enlightened beings that I know and I've met have real personality. They're just really comfortable with it, and they're not forcing it upon the world. They're not thinking that their view is the only view. They've become easy with their humanity, and that's why it's not pushing and pulling and causing havoc. Yeah, they've transcended it, but also they've become easy with the appearance of it. So yeah, it is funny. It is a hysterically funny statement. Yeah, the self is still here, as Patricia says. I don't get it. Now, isn't that a hysterically funny statement? Yeah, it is to me, and it is to you, Patricia. I get it. Again, to me, that's one of the hallmarks of a more mature realization is you become easy with your humanity, with your vulnerability, with your imperfections. It's not that you're excusing them, right? You're not excusing them saying, you know, my imperfections or whatever don't matter. But you're easy with your humanity. You know, when we're kind of a little more new in our realization, often we're kind of trying to distance ourselves from our humanness, and we're, you know, that's understandable. Almost everybody does that to varying degrees, or it just doesn't seem to be there at all for a while. Give it enough time. Give a little time. The human part comes back. It comes back different, transformed, looser, easier, less neurotic. But it's part of you, right? You're vast. You contain multitudes. It's not about eliminating anything. It's about the grand inclusion, the wide expanse, and the ease with all of that. Not only with you, but with the world around you. You know, when you become easy with you, it's amazing how you become easy with the rest of humanity. Because you're not acting as their judge. You know, you're not just on top of a spiritual mountain wondering why is everybody still in delusion. You're like, they are you too. That's the compassion. You are me. I am you. You are as invulnerable and as vulnerable as I am, and I am as invulnerable and vulnerable as you are. There's no ultimate apartness here. And that's the birth of compassion. Of being more at ease with humanity. Yeah, still sometimes, you know, human stupidity or cruelty or violence, or it can still stir you up. It can stir me up from time to time. It's all right. But it's not a place you want to live. You can come back to the heart. You can come back to that place inside where, yeah, you understand them. Even when you don't really understand, like intellectually, but something understands. The human experience is full of contradictions, isn't it? It's wide, contains multitudes. And the more we're with that, and that which transcends all that, the more free we feel, the more compassionate we are, the more understanding we have.